The landing here was also lush. Everything ended. Black snow, incredible. Just frozen.
Ukraine's defense forces have hit 377 military targets on Russian territory over the past year, according to Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Oleksandr Syrskyi. The deep strike range into Russian territory has now reached up to 1,700 kilometers. We are preparing new long-range capabilities, and they will be used. Over the past year, 377 military targets in Russia have been successfully hit with complex firepower, Syrskyi said in a statement published on the General Staff's Facebook page. Syrskyi emphasized that as long as Moscow's aggression continues, Ukraine's forces will continue striking military units, arsenals, storage facilities, defense industry plants, oil refineries supplying fuel to the Russian army, and other strategic targets. Additionally, he reported that Ukraine's defense forces have destroyed 9,200 aerial targets of various types over the past year, 2.4 times more than the 3,798 targets downed in 2023. Regarding the recent Ukrainian strikes inside Russia, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that a strike on February 6th targeted the headquarters of occupying forces in Russia's Kursk Oblast, killing about 20 officers, including some from North Korea. Andriy Kovalenko, head of the National Security and Defense Council's Center for Countering Disinformation, reported that on the night of February 8th, drones attacked the Selmash district of Rostov-on-Don in Russia's Rostov Oblast. He noted that the area houses two military airfields, one of which uses repurposed civilian infrastructure for military needs. The area is also believed to host S-400 air defense systems. Additionally, Rostov-on-Don is home to the headquarters of Russia's Southern Military District, which coordinates combat operations in southern Ukraine. Also, on the night of February 8th, drones targeted an oil transfer station in Russia's Volgograd Oblast. On the night of February 6th, drones struck an airfield in Primorsko-Akhtarsk, Krasnodar Krai, which Russia uses to launch kamikaze drones in attacks on Ukrainian cities. On the night of February 5th, Ukraine's defense forces used drones to attack an oil refinery in Russia's Krasnodar Krai. On the night of February 3rd, drones targeted the Astrakhan gas processing plant, which refines gas condensate and produces gasoline and diesel fuel. Reports also emerged of dozens of explosions near the Lukoil plant in Volgograd, causing power outages in the Russian city. Russian invaders loaded a Kamaz truck with ammunition and sent it into a forest plantation as a kamikaze. Result, minus the Kamaz truck and a huge crater after the explosion. By the way, this is the exact same tactic that ISIS used in Syria and Iraq. This is what the so-called Second Army in the world has come to. Russia's use of improvised truck-borne explosive attacks on Ukrainian positions highlights a severe shortage of ammunition, artillery, and drones, as well as a regression in military tactics. These desperate measures, reminiscent of insurgent warfare rather than a modern army, suggest that Russian forces are struggling to sustain conventional assaults. Instead of advancing with coordinated firepower and combined arms tactics, they are resorting to crude and ineffective methods that expose their logistical and strategic weaknesses. This shift underscores not progress, but a decline in their operational capabilities, as they increasingly rely on high-risk, low-tech solutions. Far from demonstrating strength, these tactics reveal a lack of resources and a growing inability to conduct sustained offensives, signaling not advancement, but regression on the battlefield.
The landing here was also lush. Everything ended. Black snow, incredible. Just frozen. Don't be afraid of the machines. Just awesome.
Снег черный. Ничего себе! Просто мерзло. Yeah, boy! Просто бомба.
And according to their terrorist tactics, another suicidal Russian attack on two motorcycles across an open field, an easy target for the drone operators of the 110th Separate Mechanized Brigade. Russia's increasing reliance on so-called suicide meat attacks, where waves of infantry and non-armored vehicles are thrown into Ukrainian defenses with little tactical planning, highlights both a strategic desperation and a deep-rooted historical disregard for human life. These mass frontal assaults, often using civilian trucks packed with explosives or outdated transport vehicles, resemble the human wave tactics of past Russian and Soviet military history, where brute force was prioritized over the preservation of soldiers. This approach is not new. During World War II, Soviet commanders frequently sacrificed thousands of troops in poorly coordinated offensives, relying on sheer numbers to overwhelm enemy positions. The Soviet-Afghan War and the Chechen conflicts also demonstrated a similar willingness to expend lives with little regard for long-term sustainability. Today, Russia's use of prison conscripts, untrained mobilized troops, and lightly armed infantry in suicidal assaults reflects this same brutal mentality, where soldiers are treated as disposable resources rather than valuable assets. The use of unarmored vehicles further emphasizes Russia's logistical struggles. Lacking sufficient armored personnel carriers and tanks, Russian forces are resorting to repurpose civilian trucks and outdated transport vehicles to ferry troops directly into the line of fire. Ukrainian forces, equipped with precision artillery, drones, and well-coordinated defensive positions, have turned these reckless attacks into slaughterhouses, inflicting massive casualties on advancing Russian troops. The Aero India 2025 air show will be the first to simultaneously feature the American F-35 and F-16 and the Russian Su-57. The landing of these aircraft marks a historic moment, as it will be the first time that both the United States and Russia have demonstrated their aircraft at the same air show. The U.S. Air Combat Command caused a stir when it unexpectedly announced that the F-35 and F-16 would not participate in Aero India 2025. However, it eventually changed its mind, and F-35s from the 388th Fighter Wing of the U.S. Air Force and F-16s from the Viper demonstration group arrived at the Yelahunka airfield, where the air show will take place. They will be displayed both statically and in the air, alongside the Indian Air Force's Su-30 MKI, the Indian Navy's Rafale, and the MiG-29K. Russia's Su-57 arrived at the show a few days earlier and will also be on display both static and in demonstration flights.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.